Thank you for joining us on Dailies today, the show that brings you headlines on the papers, sponsored by MTN Nigeria. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
And I'm Jimi. Disu. Good morning.
And we are good to go this morning with the papers that have coming. So come along. You can watch live on Facebook and YouTube, Nigeria Info 99.3 on those two platforms, Facebook and YouTube. And feel free to send us your tweets on any of the headlines that we'll be bringing you this morning. Twitter page is at Nigeria Info FM on Twitter. Let's start with the Vanguard newspaper. Youth worries over increasing severe cases of COVID-19. Youth worries over increasing severe cases of COVID-19. It comes with some riders. Says most patients come in late. 20 on oxygen. FG to start administering vaccines on Nigerians soon. Lockdown looms in Lagos as Sanwo-Olu raises alarm over spike. Vaccination could jeopardize our natural immunity to COVID-19. Virologist cautions. Unilag loses another professor to COVID-19. What's a sad one?
Yeah. Okay. So let's take the issues there are quite straightforward. Yeah. The COVID situation is getting completely out of hand. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to pass a message on to the government. By the way, my condolences to the Deputy Governor, Obafemi Hamzat. I contacted him yesterday. He lost his brother to COVID. His brother is a doctor and just 37. May his soul rest in peace, and may Allah give the Deputy Governor the fortitude and his family to bear the loss.
Right.
So in that spirit, I also was able to pass the message on to the Lagos State government. There is a need. There is a need to have. We don't have tears here, but there is a need to have some kind of serious lockdown now. The number of people, if you go by the number of people that I know, everybody knows who has COVID, and the names keep coming up every day, you know that we are in a very, very dire situation, and it is not something to play politics with. Now, the position of the government, the way I read it yesterday, the federal government, is to hope that people would apply some common sense and stick to the rules. But of course, people won't apply common sense. That won't happen anywhere in the world. Therefore, you have to force them. And the message to the government is you have to take some very, very strong measures. Very, very strong measures, no matter how unpopular they are, to make sure that we put a hold to this spread. And I think the easiest place to start is to stop all social engagements. This don't ever, you see, we have this idea that, if you want to have a party, only 4 people, the protocols should be observed, this and so on and so forth. Let us just imagine, we are being invaded. Let us imagine, God forbid, it was Boko Haram that was on the rampage. Right. Would you have time to put chairs and tables together? It is in that spirit that I think that the government from there, let us start. We need to do something very drastically because our people are they're just irresponsible. There is no other way to put it. Both the elite and the common man and everybody, we have all behaved in a completely irresponsible manner. I'm going to have a party. They say we can have only 50 people. You get there, you meet 100. Now, if the victim of these, if they were the only ones who would contract this, whatever, you would say, okay, bind them to the Philistines, let them take care of themselves. But no, right. It is a spreaded thing. It is a spread thing. Sorry, and because they're a danger to others, I think the Lagos State government should come, and indeed the federal should come down hard, and let us have the maximum amount of lockdown we can afford. Now, I've put in a proviso there because of the economy. It's going to be extremely difficult to lock down businesses and whatever.
Right.
But there is a need because, Sheriff, why do I get a feel this time around that the situation we're in is worse than we were in March?
No, but of course, that's very obvious.
It's very obvious.
It's very, very obvious.
It's very obvious.
This is dire. This is just it's too much.
It's
actually too much.
Yesterday again we lost another professor. That professor we hear was a very close friend of Professor Ibidapo Obe. We had another professor. Yesterday I had about 5 people of my friends, as it were, who 3 in isolation center, 2 have COVID. 1 was asymptomatic. So we need to do something drastically, you know. And I hope that Governor Sanwo-Olu, with his cabinet and whatever.
So I had NCDC on the show yesterday. Sorry to interrupt you, Jimmy. And I asked the head of emergency operations at emergency services at NCDC, Dr. Oladejo, a question. I said, why aren't we testing enough? He said we actually have over 80 labs in this country right now. The problem is for people to walk into those labs and get tested.
No, I think they might need another approach,
strategy, right?
Another strategy, and that is to take the testing to the people. I mean,
right.
we must
that's what's been done elsewhere.
Yes, take the testing
them.
to the people. Let people have access to home kits. You understand?
Right.
We've been playing Russian roulette with this whatever. Look at the number we've tested. I don't think it's up to 1 million out of a population.
No, it's not up to 1 million.
It's not up to 1 million. It's so dismal. And this is not a time for the blame game. We want to encourage government to keep doing, but we're beginning to get completely disappointed about the way this is being handled. And something tells me there seems to be a capacity problem, because people who are within the government circles now come to the newspapers to advise government. There was something by one Professor Tomori again advising, and I would have thought that you would have had a proper body, of virologists and whatever, that will come out with a clear-cut policy on this. Sheriff, I need to be honest with our people. I do not know whether the government, both at federal or at state level, of course, local government is out of it. I honestly do not know if we have the capacity to handle this. I honestly do not know.
You know what we're going to do, Jimmy?
I don't have that confidence. What are we going to do?
Let's go on a break. I'm not a caller. Stop giving like.
No, I thought you wanted to call somebody. I mean, that's
no.
Oh, okay.
We'll go on a quick.
We'll go on a quick break.
Let's go on a quick break and hear from our sponsors, MTN.
Oh, okay.
When we return from here, the break, we'll continue and look at other stories this morning.
You don't want us to talk about this COVID again?
No, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
You still want to talk about the COVID? Okay, we'll be right back, Lagos. Stay here.
I'm a very, very big guy, but I don't joke with my giggy bites. So MTN get the free guy with this data plan for the midnight. 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. 2 gig, oh boy, I can live the life. IG, TikTok is ready to go, oh boy, I'm feeling fine. Because 11 to 6 in the morning, IG, TikTok morning, 2 gig there for me. MTN process of course,
MTN Pulse. Do you dial *406# to join? Everywhere you go, MTN.
Hello! This na public announcement to our dear customer dem. As NCC don talk MTN go start to link your national identification number NIN to the information wey you provide during your SIM registration to help join your NIN number to your MTN number. You fit do am through 2 easy ways. Make you log on to my MTN app or dial *785*NIN#. If you not get national identification number, make you visit this website www.nimc.gov.ng to find the nearest registration center where they near you. If you don't register for NIN before but forget the NIN number, dial *346# with the phone number where you take register for NIN. We no one disconnect you. Thank you for your patience and cooperation.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
catch up with all the
Dailies today on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back to Dailies today. We're looking at headlines on the papers today, myself and Jimi Disu. So, the COVID thing. You know what scares me the most?
Yeah.
Is the fact that there are rapid test kits out there right now. And the local government here, Nigerian government, is barely saying anything about those rapid test kits. And they're available. There was an interview here on Nigeria Info with a Nigerian doctor, who was part of a team that developed a rapid test kit in the US, and they said they've been in talks with the NCDC here in Nigeria. And NCDC they've verified, they've certified the rapid test kit. Now get them to bring it in now. That's another problem.
Let's be honest with ourselves. We don't put a premium on human life. I don't know how, over the years, we've just lost that connect. Excuse me. About putting a premium on human lives. We don't have that. We don't have that. I don't know whether it's poverty or whether it's religion or fatalism. I don't know what it is. But we don't put a premium on. And every opportunity, that's one problem we have with government, not necessarily this Buhari government, governments across the board, and also the civil service and whatever. Every opportunity, good or bad, is an opportunity to make money. And that's where it comes from. So even if you find in Nigeria, way back in the Second Republic,
right,
the World Bank wanted to put one water scheme in the north, whatever it was. Do you know why the governor at that time rejected it? Because he's dead now. I won't mention his name. He rejected it because the World Bank said they'll come and do the project. He said no, they should bring the funds so that they can give out the contract to do the project. And therefore, even in the attitude that we have, it's where you find those who are in position of authority always feel that, I can always take care of myself. I can always travel and get this thing done. Before you know it now, somebody in the private sector will start bringing in vaccines,
right,
if it is that possible, and it will be there reserved for the elite. It is a pity. I have lost a lot of confidence in our ability to tackle this virus, and that's why I keep calling on everybody to try as much as possible to do the needful. The problem, especially in Lagos, I was telling my contact yesterday, is you refuse to enforce laws and instructions to the people. You refuse that. I believe the governor, and I told that person yesterday that I believe the governor would rather be seen as a nice person than an effective person. Because during the lockdown, all the laws of the lockdown were contravened. How could a state government have left the beaches open during the last festivities?
Yeah.
When you knew there would be no controls. You knew it's a common sense thing. But you did nothing. You wanted people to enjoy themselves. And I read somewhere in the papers about 3 days ago that we're going to pay for that. And that's what we have now.
We will.
Now, the question you'll be saying, some of the elites at home will say, well, thank God I didn't go. But your driver went.
Yeah.
Your driver's son went.
Your cook's
son went. Your cleaner's son went. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So let's stop living in a bubble and know that this challenge concerns all of us. What happens in the UK, believe you me, is during last Christmas, during lockdown, when they say no families will visit each other or whatever.
Yeah.
You try and get a visitor and see what will happen. Somebody's going to be putting a call through to the police. That I saw 4 men entering Mr. Sheriff's house in number 4 Pike Lane, SW2 stroke.
Otito.
Second base, let's go straight. Can I have this one? This is an editorial, and it's still on COVID, and it says underrated challenge. What I will do is I'm going to read this editorial at 9 o'clock,
right?
If you don't mind.
That's okay.
I'm going to read it at 9 o'clock so I can handle it thoroughly. Because what the nation has done here is a thorough analysis of how we are and we are not challenging this COVID pandemic. And this is what they say. So COVID-19 is ravaging fiercely, but we seem to be defying it and its shadow of death. And they say that you will find indications that the enormity of the challenge is not well appreciated across the board in the manner some state governments ordered resumption of schools under their jurisdiction. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I should charge them for. This is what I said. I said this on Tuesday.
Let's stay with the Punch newspaper. We need to think urgently How to save Nigeria. That's Kuka. We need to think urgently. How to save Nigeria. Kuka.
Well, Kuka is not saying anything new. He had some sermon at Christmas, and then I think he had another sermon. It says yesterday he spoke during the wake of His Grace Archbishop, a former wake of His Grace Archbishop Peter Yariyok Jatawa during some sermon in any case when he was his wakekeeping, and says it's coming in less than 3 weeks after his Christmas message, where he accused Buhari of nepotism, among other things. The headline says we need to think urgently how to save. They put save. Look at grammatical error here. Punch tabon. Look at it here. How to save Nigeria. How to save Nigeria. Kuka editors need to be careful. But I'd like to readdress that headline, and my message to you is that you need to think urgently how you're going to save you and your immediate family in this, because nothing is likely to change until this government hands over in 2023. So you now have to start thinking of strategies about how you're going to survive this onslaught. And it's a major challenge. It is a big challenge. It's not a case of it's not my portion. Everybody has been hit left, right, and center. Given the circumstances and the kind of governance that we have. I don't want to keep hitting my head against the wall. I remember my good friend Ambassador Musbah called in and said, no, we must confront this government. I don't want to lose track of confronting this government and then not being prepared for another government that will come in 2023. So everybody has an option. But I think that we all need to go back into ourselves within our own immediate units. Let us see how we are going to survive the perilous times ahead. The challenges, the economic and this health challenge is going to make 2021. I pray to God that it doesn't get any worse than 2020.
I am very hopeful, but there is nothing inspiring about the year already. Maybe things will change much later on.
No. You see, the bad part of me is that I'm a realist and I always look at the worst scenarios. For example, other countries now are talking about vaccination.
Yeah.
The vaccines are ready. They are good to go. So even if they had some kind of lockdown, within that period you can vaccinate and then hope.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's a threat that there's another virus coming, virus X. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. We are still looking for the free virus. We are waiting some 100,000, which will be, like I said before, Council of States, this one, past presidents. Already, I saw one news item where it's already marshaled out. It says the Secretary of Government.
I saw that story too.
Will be the first to get it. I said, there you go. Too. There you go. And then a privileged few, So I'm not too. I'd rather than deceive you and say that, leave that to the church. The church can pray for times ahead, but I'd like to warn you that you need to brace yourself, for hard times ahead.
Indeed. Now let's take a look at this interesting story here. We'll go to the social media in a moment. Trump supporters invade Capitol. Security officers draw guns.
I know that we're on YouTube and Facebook Live. So if you see me closing my eyes all the time, I'm not winking at you. I'm trying to keep awake because I monitored this American situation all night. And what I liked about it was that it was an American solution that immediately the American whatever came in. The president was, apparently what we hear, was pussyfooting about bringing in the National Guard very quickly in spirit to keep America one. The vice president initiated that role. And there is a chance that even 2 weeks towards the end of his presidency, Trump might be impeached. Everybody putting America first. I didn't see any senator put a phone to his ear to call Buhari in Lagos to come and, I didn't see that happen. Where am I going? I hope our politicians watched what happened in the States, for them to know that you are on your own and you must always find your own homegrown solution and put your country first when such challenge, because those who were going to oppose certain things said, they said, in the spirit of what has happened, we withdraw our objection and we just like to move on because America comes first. And if I were an American, I'd be disgusted at what was happening completely. But then I'd be proud that the vice president, president, because everything, if the vice president had been anything near Trump, you'd have a confused country. But the vice president, was able to stand up to his own president as it were. What happened was disgraceful, yes, but a solution is being found very, very quickly. We need to learn from this. Nobody put a gun.
Look at that.
No.
Look at that.
Yeah, look at. I know it was what happened was disgraceful. Starting the speaker's chair, they went into the whatever. But I can assure you, this is the last time this kind of thing is going to happen.
I hope so.
Oh, definitely.
Because it's looking like America is taking a turn.
No, America is taking a turn that the whole world is taking. Even we here, we are not any different. If you look at the thinking in the social media, the kind of discussion that goes on, the kind of argument that goes on, you'll be frightened.
America is
frightened.
That shining example of what democracy should be like. So the turn, perhaps, is the wrong turn that we're seeing or we saw yesterday happen to American democracy.
No, I think that this is the price we have to pay for the social media, in all honesty. Because what it means is that in the past, only those who know were active in politics. Right now, everybody believes and feels that they have a right to be heard, which is right. But a lot of them are not knowledgeable. A lot of them don't have the right thinking towards national development. A lot of them have very simple and infantile reactions to things. Look at our social media here. Same in America, same everywhere. Look at the caliber of people, for example, that went to the Capitol yesterday. You couldn't find any distinguished American there, in the real sense. So it's the price the world has to pay for social media opening up, politics to those who know and those who don't know. Those who don't know are almost going to push aside those who know. But that's the price we have to pay for that development.
Indeed. Now let's go take some thoughts on social media. Austin on social media says government is not serious at curbing the ailment as there is no effective control and monitoring. Look at the NIN. You will see thousands of people. Why will it not spread? It's trying to say that, look, you want to stop COVID and you are giving people a deadline.
I think that government should just allow the essentials happen now. All these things that NIN should be suspended for now, and let's face this challenge. People are dying in droves. I hope people understand that, and I'm glad that Luth came out with this story. Our people are dying in droves, and that should be the primary concern, not NIN or any of these things.
I was saying something this morning, Jimmy. I said, look, before Luth could even come out with this, they must have tried to suppress, you know how we get political with everything. They must have tried to hold on to that story, try to find solution to it, but they can't. And this says a lot coming out.
For example, now, I heard from the grapevine that the Lagos State government has to start reviving the isolation centers. I heard from the grapevine that it appears as if there could be, I'm choosing my words carefully, could be a shortage of oxygen in certain areas. It was rumored that one man died whilst he was on oxygen because he ran out of oxygen. We need to consolidate these things. We cannot continue to lose as citizens in a very irresponsible manner. It says that lockdown looms as Sanwo-Olu raises alarm over spike. And this virologist is saying again, vaccination could jeopardize our national immunity to COVID-19. I think this was what Professor Tomori. Why doesn't the government harness all these views and come out with one policy? And then it also says that Unilag loses another professor to COVID-19. We'll be looking at these things critically at 9 o'clock.
Indeed. Patrick Owen says, good morning. Patrick is sending this message in from France. What's your message again, Patrick? Sorry. You
don't go, you don't fly.
Some messages just rushed in now. Okay, yeah, got it. It says, the problem about the testing is that it is not free because I heard it's 50K, but here in France it's for free because I've done it 4 times. So Patrick, I spoke with NCDC. If you're still watching, the NCDC official told me yesterday that it's actually free. It's only not free. You have to pay if you're traveling, and you need to conduct that test. And according to him, the reason is that it's the nation's resources. So non-citizens or citizens traveling or going outside the country will have to pay if they have to. So
the question is,
they have to do that test.
Why do you bother saying it is free for if you want to test and for those who want to travel? Why not just make it free for everybody? The NHS in the UK is free. Okay, it's free. Now, if you now find yourself under pressure, you can't go to, go book or whatever you have to book. That is when you pay. You understand?
Yeah.
Or for loads of foreigners who are not covered by the NHS. But if you go to the NHS, you can walk in anywhere. I don't know why I can't walk into the local government around the corner here, once every 2 weeks and say, please, I'd like to do a COVID test. I don't know why I can't do that. I honestly don't know why I can't do that. I don't know why the government can't go to the markets and whatever and have some kind of mass testing. I don't know, because these are working. And the tests, I've done it. It's so easy. Something from your nose and something from, but it's a terrible thing. It's tickle your nose. Something from your nose and something from your throat, and off you go. You take out the sample. We will always continue to pay lip service. The shocker Nigerians will have is at the end of this COVID, whatever, go and look at the report and skip all the pages and go to the balance sheet. You'll be amazed at how much has been sent. Already we're being told now that if we wanted to get vaccines, it will cost $1 trillion. That's why I think we are looking for this.
It's about 2 trillion.
2 trillion. That's why we are looking for the free one.
About 2 trillion to vaccinate the
Heaven help us all.
What's happening at 9?
What else will happen?
The editorial.
The editorial, and we'll discuss
the
this COVID issue. Yes.
Fantastic.
We'll keep hammering it. I will see if I can make a phone call.
Don't do that. Jimmy, thank you so much for coming.
All right, Sheriff, I'll see you at 9.
Many thanks to our sponsors, MTN Nigeria. I'm Sheriff Quadry. Let's get on with the news right now at the top of the hour. Then after the news, we'll be back here to talk health, of course, on the Crossfire today. Stay here.
Keeping up the pace in an ever-changing world.
Packet tomato that was being sold 14 naira. They have been increasing effectively.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.